This episode of Lunch Break is brought to you by Bobby G's Chicago Eatery and Sports Bar in Milton, Georgia. Located 650 miles south of Chicago, Bobby G's strives to create an authentic Chicago eatery and sports experience right in the heart of the South. And be sure to check out their weekly dine-in specials, including $3 domestic drafts and $5 burgers on Mondays, or half-price wings after 5 and trivia on Wednesdays. Bobby G's, welcome to the big city.
Please don't bother me, I'm on my lunch break. Pizza, burger, sandwich, lunch break, tofu, salad, hot dog, lunch break.
Welcome to another edition of Lunch Break. I'm Kathleen Sturgeon.
I'm AJ McNaughton.
I have allergies, as you can hear. Can you hear it?
Not really. You sound pretty good.
It gets better throughout the day. I feel like I can hear it in my voice.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
The pine pollen count is super high.
I think the tree pollens, like birch, really just get to me. So,
Yeah?
Yeah, happy
Bummer.
spring.
Happy spring. Well, and your birthday is tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow.
And you are heading to New Orleans.
Yes.
So we're doing a special Monday recording. Usually we record on, Wednesday? So you're going to be out the rest of the week. So we wanted to make sure we got an episode out for everybody who was eager to listen to a new one. So you go to New Orleans every year for your birthday.
Pretty much every year.
It's a tradition.
The past few years, yeah, since I graduated from college.
Okay.
We've gone, I think, almost every year.
How old are you? Can I ask you how old you're turning? Is it? Well, a lot of people don't like to
I think
give
that's
out
when
their
you're
age.
older.
Okay.
I'll be 26, so
Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So you're going with your...
I'm not, normally I go with my parents, but this time I'm switching it up.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I'm going with my boyfriend, Chris. And then it changed this year because one of my best friends, Lexi, her boyfriend also has the same birthday as me. So we decided, why don't we celebrate both our birthdays in New Orleans?
Is that going to be weird, having to share your birthday with somebody?
I don't know. I mean, it might be because he's turning 21. So that's exciting. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he'll be 21. I'll be 26. His is obviously the more exciting birthday here.
Whoa.
But that's okay.
So are you guys going to go hard?
I don't know. I mean, he probably will just because 21. But, as a seasoned veteran over here, probably still.
Do you have spots that you have to go to when you're in New Orleans?
Yeah. So typically the first week in April is when we go, obviously birthday, but also spring break for Fulton County Schools, which is where my mom works. And when we go, they usually are having French Quarter Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we typically hang out there during the day. It's free. It's so much fun. The only thing you have to pay for is if you want to eat or drink there, but the music and everything is free. You just walk
All
around.
the entertainment is free. They have art stations set up, don't they? Like they have a little artist market or something?
Probably, yeah. They always have one in Jackson Square set up right outside the church. But this year, it's not this week. It's next week, so we'll be missing it.
Bummer.
So I'm just I don't know what we're going to do during the day.
So do you think there's going to be less people in New Orleans then?
Probably.
Since they're all waiting to go.
Next week, we'll probably be really busy, yeah. But it is still spring break for a lot of places, right?
I guess.
Around here it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So we typically do that. So I don't know what we'll do during the day, but for restaurants or for bars, I have quite a list. My mom typed out a whole thing yesterday.
An itinerary for you. So does your mom usually have her places to go that have become your places to go?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My parents introduced me and my brother to New Orleans back in high school.
Are they from there?
No.
They just like it?
Yeah.
I guess it's pretty close to Atlanta. Are you flying?
No, we're driving.
It's 8 hours?
Yeah, it's going to be, rough.
Do you drive all the way through?
Yeah. You mean do we stop somewhere overnight? We did that last year. My parents and I did. We stopped in Biloxi.
So I've been to New Orleans once with Kimber, and we
Yeah.
drove there, and we stayed in Biloxi.
Yeah. Yeah. I had never been before last year, and my parents are like, oh, there's casinos. It'll be so cool. It was cool for an hour.
Yeah, well, so we stayed at, I don't remember what the casino was. I'm not big on gambling, but I figured we'll give it a shot, and I was really thrown back because we checked in, and then we went to the bar, and they have all of the video poker machines in the bar. And so we ordered a drink, and I'm, waiting for the waitress to come back and say, okay, it's, X amount, or, it's $5 for your beer or whatever. And I'm, waiting 5 minutes, waiting 10 minutes. And I eventually flag her down. I'm like, hey, am I supposed to pay for this? But apparently they just give you all your drinks free.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, while you're gambling.
While you're gambling. Because if you're spending money gambling, you don't have to spend it on drinks. But I wasn't a big fan of the casino. It was really smoky. Because you can smoke inside there.
Yeah.
So I don't dig on that. And then I'm not much of a gambler. Mm-hmm. I've done a couple of those like casino nights for charity where it's just play money. So it's a lot easier to gamble because it's not your own money.
Yeah.
So we tried doing roulette.
Okay.
And we spent about 2 minutes at the table before I lost all my money.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So we spent like half an hour in the casino. And then, the rest of the time in the hotel room.
Yeah, just waiting to go to New Orleans, right?
Right, yeah.
I understand. Whenever we go, I really only like blackjack. The other games, I'm like, this is a little too much. I don't really care. But we always try to make a rule where we say, okay, we have a $20 bill, and that's it. Whenever you spend the $20, you leave. Like,
doesn't that get hard, though?
Well, blackjack, we use the little computer ones.
Yeah.
It's like the only gambling that I've ever done. And so that you can make it last pretty long. And also there's 3 of us, me and my mom and dad. And so we like take turns switching off. And they're a lot better than I am. I usually will lose a bunch of money. And then they're like, all right, hold on.
So Kimber and I are going to Vegas for our honeymoon in June.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So we're flying into Vegas, but then we're going to go to the Grand Canyon. And then we're going to go to Bryce Canyon in Utah. And then Zion National Park.
Oh, fun.
So we're flying in there and we're spending one night in Vegas. And then on our way back, we're going to spend one night. And so I have this app. Blackjack app.
You've been practicing?
I'm practicing, and you also get rewards. So,
okay, cool.
And you can actually spend it on, like, you get one free drink, or
wow.
buy one, get one at the buffet or something.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah. But other than that, that's about the extent of my gambling experience.
Yeah. Biloxi was kind of, I don't know what I was expecting it to be.
Well, like, I was expecting, some type of, I hear casino and I think of the Vegas Strip. I've never been to Vegas, but, I think it's like very elegant and you get all these flashing lights. And then you get to Biloxi and it's like a casino and then a few vacant lots in between and then like a restaurant.
Yeah.
And there's not much there.
We just walked through the casino because I don't think I had been in one yet since we went there. Because every other time that we had gone to New Orleans, I hadn't been 21 yet, so I couldn't go into like Harrah's. So we went to the casino, used our $20. And then I think we tried to go to a restaurant and like all the restaurants were closed. And it was maybe like 9 or 9:30. I think it was a Sunday night or something. I don't know. But it was kind of ridiculous. And we were like, cool, Biloxi, got it. Like, let's leave.
Yeah, you don't need to go back. So you're not going to stop there this time?
No.
It's probably a good call. We ate at a restaurant and we got oysters since we're on the Gulf.
Oh, yeah.
I figured. Fresh Gulf oysters. And they were good, but then we were thinking about it. And did they actually come from the Gulf of Mexico?
You didn't trust it, yeah.
Probably not. They were still good.
In New Orleans, did you get any?
No. So we were in New Orleans for a wedding, and we went down to Bourbon Street. It was me, Kimber, and then I think 3 other people. And it was real late at night. It was like, well, not real late. It was probably like 9 or 10 at night. But we hadn't had dinner yet. I was starving.
Yeah, hangry.
Yes. And so everyone's trying to figure out, where should we go? We should go to this place. No, we should go to this place. So, we found one po' boy place because po' boys are really big in New Orleans. So we ended up waiting in line for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And we got to the front of the line and someone came out from the kitchen and said, hey, folks, just want to let you know, if you're ordering right now, it's going to be another half an hour before you get your food.
Oh, geez.
So I said, F that.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting another half an hour to get food. So I went outside and they had a hot dog cart.
Oh, yeah. On Bourbon Street. Yep.
Yeah. So that was my dinner. Like the first night in New Orleans was
hot dog cart.
A hot dog cart, hot dog. And no one else got a hot dog from the cart.
Well, yeah.
Because, who wants to eat that? And I was wearing my white slip-on Vans. Mm-hmm. And, of course, this hot dog is massive and is covered. I think it had chili on it and mustard.
No.
And after I was finished eating it, I looked down at my shoe and I just had like this big blob of mustard on my new shoes. So
welcome to New Orleans.
Welcome to New Orleans. So I think that was my own fault for wearing all white shoes to Bourbon Street.
I have a pair of white Vans too, and I wore them to St. Patrick's Day. And the next day they were I had to clean them.
Because they had vomit on them?
Oh, no. I don't know what. Well, okay. There was this woman who was kind of older and very drunk. And she leaned up against a flagpole. And she didn't, I guess, realize that it's not a wall. It's just a flagpole. And so she started leaning to one side and then just fell on the ground. And she, when on her way down, knocked a full beer out of a guy standing next to her, out of his hand. And we just happened to be standing right in front of them. And so it got everywhere.
I think that's always how it goes. Whenever you wear anything white, something is going to get spilled on it.
Oh, yeah.
Murphy's Law.
It's okay. They washed out, but now I'm like, okay, what am I doing today? Is it okay to wear these?
Well, and so I have my floral Vans on. Before I leave the house, I have to check the weather to make sure it's not going to rain.
Yes, I do that too.
Or, I'm not going to be doing anything like walking an extended period of time through grass or anything. I'm trying to keep this pair in mint condition.
I understand. Or now with the pollen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If it rains and then you get the puddles of pollen.
Oh, yeah.
The parking lot is ridiculous how you can see the tire tracks through it. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know if New Orleans has better pollen or less.
Before I had moved here, Illinois doesn't get pollen like Georgia does.
Really?
So it was the first spring I was down here. It was so bizarre because everything is covered in a layer of yellowish green dust.
The worst part is when you get in your car and you turn on your windshield wipers and it just like puffs.
Yeah.
I just imagine it in my lungs right now.
Getting back to New Orleans. We kind of got off track there. Yeah. You have spots that you need to go to.
Yeah, so food-wise, there's obviously the classics like Café du Monde. That's the only place that I will drink coffee.
Is it good?
Fun fact. Yeah, well...
is it black or is it tons of cream, tons of sugar?
Yeah, so they have black coffee, but no. It's chicory coffee, right? Isn't that what it is?
Maybe. We didn't eat there.
Oh, next time.
The line was too long.
So... Another fun fact.
Okay.
You don't have to wait in a line. If there's an open table, just go sit down. I don't know if it's probably frowned upon now that I say that out loud, but
but that's your helpful hint.
That's what we always do, yeah. And there's never been a problem. The waitresses...
It's just first come, first serve?
Yeah, for the most part, you probably should wait in line. But it's so hectic and busy in there that the waitresses are just like, I don't care. Just, get out.
If you're tipping me, that's fine.
Yeah. And so they have a cafe au lait, which is what I drink. What is that? Coffee and milk? Cafe au lait?
I don't know. It sounds Spanish.
It does.
Olé.
Even though
it's French.
Yeah. But it's very good. It's sugar and cream and milk and...
all the good stuff.
Like a milkshake, basically. And then beignets, of course.
So what is a beignet? It's fried dough?
Yeah. Kind of like a donut, except it's more flaky. And then they have the powdered sugar on it.
Does it have any filling?
No. And I always make the mistake of wearing black. And everything is covered in powdered sugar. And so it's all over afterwards.
So maybe wear your black shoes, but your white shirt.
That's the time to wear white Vans.
Yeah.
So you can just put the powdered sugar all over them.
That's a good idea. I should have went there after I spilled the mustard on my shoes.
Ooh. Powdered sugar on mustard. Yeah. Ooh. I don't know if that would be good. But yeah, so we go there. And then there's the gumbo shop. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
It just has a bunch of gumbo.
Do you eat gumbo?
They have a vegetarian gumbo, which is why we go there. And it's like the best thing.
So it's just a bunch of vegetables? Or do they have tofu in it?
Mm-mm. It's just a bunch of vegetables and rice and I think beans maybe. One of the hardest things about New Orleans is they're known for red beans and rice, but everything has andouille sausage in it. And I'm always like, come on, it's red beans and rice. I should be able to eat it, but sausage, man. And then I'm trying to think of other food places. There is a place that we go for po' boys. Can't think of what it's called right now. It usually has a line. And maybe oyster shop?
Oh, yes. Yes, the po' boy shop with the line. That must have been the place that I waited.
Okay. Does it have
45 minutes?
Like the oysters in the front where they're shucking them?
Yeah.
And it kind of has a little weird... You're lying right now.
I have no idea. I don't remember.
Well, there's so many. It's,
You generally get po' boys when you're there?
They have a vegetarian po' boy. I know all the vegetarian spot, of course, obviously. But they have one, I don't even think it's actually a po' boy. It's just like a veggie patty that they put all the regular po' boy stuff on.
It's like in the roll.
Yeah. So I feel like I belong when it's just like a heated up veggie burger. And then, of course, there's a ton of bars.
Have you ever gotten a hurricane?
I've never had a hurricane.
From, I think, Pat O'Brien's.
Pat O's, yeah.
Is the place to
Did you
Is it
go
Pat
in there?
O's?
Well, it's Pat O'Brien's, but we call it Pat O's.
Is that shorthand?
I
That's what the
guess.
locals call it.
That's what the sturgeons call it.
Okay. No, we didn't go in Pat O'Brien's.
You should. It has a flaming fountain.
So I was trying to figure out what a hurricane is.
Death.
It's like a rum-based drink with a bunch of fruit.
Yeah.
And it comes, I guess it gets the name because the glass is shaped like a hurricane lamp.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
I just thought because they had hurricanes in New Orleans.
Well, that's what I thought too. And I thought that was kind of a little insensitive.
Yes. And it's not like they have hurricanes every day, so it'd be kind of random to
Right.
name one thing after that.
Right. So one of the things that they talked about at Pat O'Brien's was the flaming fountain. Mm-hmm. So it's just a fountain that's
On fire.
like literally on
Yeah,
fire.
it's really cool. It's just a water fountain, and I don't really know how they do it, but there's also flames going at the same time.
I'll have to check that out next time.
You should, yeah, in their courtyard. So growing up, before I turned 21, I obviously wasn't allowed to go in. And so my parents would always come back and they were like, oh, the flaming fountain, it's so cool. And so finally, last year or the year before, I finally got to see it. And I saw it and I was like, seriously, that's the flaming fountain? It's cool, but like they
But it
had
wasn't-
talked it up.
They built it up. Mm-hmm. Didn't meet your expectations.
No, but it is a fountain that's on fire. So that's pretty cool in itself.
That is pretty cool. Has Chris been to New Orleans?
No, I don't know that anyone in the group I'm going with has been.
So are you excited to show them all these spots?
Kind of, but so my family and I have like a system of how we do things, and it'll be kind of weird to do with other people, but I'm excited because I hope they have an open mind. New Orleans isn't exactly for everyone. It's kind of dirty.
You don't think so?
No. I've had friends who come back and they're like, how do you like New Orleans? It's so gross. And I'm like, that's the beauty of it. Everything smells.
And it's a little weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. I love New Orleans. It's very eclectic, but it's still like really southern and cool.
So where are you staying while you're there?
An Airbnb, which I've never done before.
Yeah, that's what we did when we stayed there. We rented an Airbnb with, I think there was 5 of us in this. It was in someone's basement. Well, it wasn't really a basement. Some people lived on the upper floor, but then you walked on the side of their house.
Oh, so it
and
has
was
separate
kind
entrance.
of right.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a split level almost, like a
Duplex?
yeah, something like that.
Sort of, yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool.
They had a pool.
Oh, did you use it?
I did not.
Had you ever done an Airbnb before?
Kimber and I go to Asheville quite often, and we did an Airbnb one time in Asheville. Someone had a camper, and it was a couple blocks from a bunch of bars and restaurants and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And it had a bed, and it had its own shower and toilet. So
All you really need, right?
right, yeah, it was kind of like glamping. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, Airbnb is pretty
Yeah.
solid.
I've never done it. So I'm like excited because I think it'll be cool to have I think we rented somebody's apartment, and it'll be nice since we do have 5 people. So that way you don't have to do,
Who's
2
the
hotels.
5th person?
Oh, sorry. So Lexi's boyfriend's best friend is also coming.
Is that going to be weird? Or, well, I guess because it's his birthday too, it's like...
Yeah, that was the whole point, was that they wanted to go, and then Lexi wanted me to come too. And so then it just kind of, we hung out, the 5 of us, a few weeks ago, just to kind of like,
And the chemistry was good?
oh yeah, we had a good time. So it should be pretty fun. It'll be interesting though, because of the ages, because 21, and then Chris is 27, he'll be 28. But, we can all do our own thing if we want.
You can be kids again.
I don't think we ever stopped. I feel like I do more stuff now than I did when I was 21.
I'm going to turn 30 in September.
No way.
Yeah, way. Do I look like I'm 30?
No.
Thank you.
I thought you were, I feel like I always will think you're 28 for some reason. Is that how old you were when I started?
When did you start?
3 years ago? 3 or 4?
Well, I guess I would have been 27, 28.
Oh, right. That math. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty basic to figure out.
But
Yeah.
now I have 3 beers and the next morning I wake up and I feel like death.
Oh,
And maybe I'm just not doing something right, like I'm not eating enough or drinking enough water.
yeah.
But it's been rough. For whatever reason, I just can't handle it like I used to.
It's probably the water, because I do that too. When I was in college, you could just decide one day, all right, we're going to go out. And the next day it's like, I'm fine. This is fine. But now I have to kind of like prepare. If I'm going somewhere, I need to drink a lot of water the day before and sleep, and then I'll be okay. But if I don't, it's a big mistake.
Do you have any hangover cures?
I don't. So I don't really get like hangovers where you can't have like the sun or loud sounds. I just get really tired. But my biggest is the water before, which is why I'm drinking a lot of water today and tomorrow. And that's the big one. But no, I'm really bad for not eating when I want to drink because I don't like the balance of if you eat too much, then you can't really
drink as much.
You won't like feel it as much, you know?
Right.
And then I do regret that because I probably should have eaten. I usually eat like a piece of toast and Diet Coke the next day. And that typically does it.
Gets you over the hump. I've heard 5 Hour Energy.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think Suzanne does that.
Yeah, I could. I could.
If anyone would know a hangover cure, it would be Suzanne.
No, I could see. I've never had a 5 Hour Energy, but I could see that working.
Well, and I think it has a bunch of the electrolytes and nutrients that you're supposed to put back in your body. I've heard Pediasure.
Yeah,
also.
I've heard that Pedialyte.
It's the supplement that kids drink.
Yeah, and Gatorade. People say Gatorade a lot.
Yeah, because that has the electrolytes too.
There was something I saw on Facebook last week that you can order on Amazon, and it's kind of like that, except it's in a shot form, I guess. Like, not an actual alcoholic shot, but like a little amount.
Like injectable?
No. Like a...
Like you consume it.
Yeah, like 5 Hour Energy, that's a shot, right? Like, it's not
Right.
an actual full drink. And whatever it is, it has a ton of nutrients in it, and people swear by it.
Have you ever heard of activated charcoal? Mm-hmm. So we got some of those for our wedding weekend, and they have them in capsules. You take them while you're drinking, and it's supposed to suck up or do... Yeah, I guess it sucks up all of the stuff that gives you hangovers.
Huh.
It didn't really work for me all that much. It did make me really constipated, though.
Good to know.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. So I wouldn't recommend activated charcoal if you were thinking that.
I
for New
wasn't.
Orleans.
No, I'm trying to make sure that I plan it out well. Because, you show up somewhere on vacation and you're like, this is awesome. Let's, have fun. I was going to say balls to the wall. I don't know if I can say that. But you just go nuts. And then the next day you're like, all right, this is my first real day. And I just want to sleep. So I'm trying to plan it out.
So are you guys going to do any sightseeing while you're in New Orleans?
We have nothing planned.
They have a botanical garden there. I forget what the park is called, but there's a park with, I think they call it a singing tree, where they have a bunch of, it's like wind chimes in the trees, but
That's
they're
cool.
huge. And then attached to the park or near there is the botanical gardens, and they have a bunch of art sculptures, like big sculptures. That was pretty
Cool.
neat.
That sounds cool. I mean, like I said, we normally do the French Quarter Fest, so it's like
That's all you need.
during the day. I don't really have anything to
Are you
give
going to
them.
do any ghost tours?
I don't know. You were telling me about the one that you guys did, and that one sounded really cool.
Yeah, because it started off at, I think it's the oldest bar in New Orleans. It's called Two Jacks, and they invented the grasshopper. Did we talk about that on the last
think
episode?
we did.
Yeah. So that's where it started, and then we went to various bars. There was one that was a pirate-themed bar, and they had absinthe, so that was kind of neat. But I don't think it's absinthe like they have in Europe, where it makes you hallucinate, so maybe not as fun. But then, so throughout the tour, they just basically they talked about different murders. That's what a lot of it was. Or maybe it wasn't a ghost tour. I don't really remember.
A murder tour?
It was a murder
A
tour.
death tour?
Yeah, and just about, actual events that had happened and different people who got killed. So it was a lot of fun.
That sounds cool. It really does. I mean, that's a lot of what New Orleans does, or the charm of it. It like all the voodoo.
Yeah, we did. We went into a voodoo shop too.
The one kind of near Bourbon Street.
Probably. We were downtown, so.
It's probably the same one. It's near Patos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of I have like the map in my head. I'm trying to think of it. Over there, kind of near. Yes, I know what you're talking about. In high school, I tried to buy like a little voodoo doll, and we were flying back, and my mom would not let me. She's like, "You are not taking a voodoo doll on the plane. We will crash and die."
No.
Oh yeah, she won't go in the voodoo shop or anything.
So she believes in all the voodoo?
Yeah.
Do you believe in voodoo?
Yeah, but it doesn't scare me, which might be a bad thing.
No, I just want to embrace it.
It probably should scare me, but I think it's pretty cool.
It's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what would you do with a voodoo doll? Would you try to perform voodoo on someone?
I don't really have anyone I'd perform voodoo on.
Would you take some of Chris's hair just in case anything were to happen?
No.
Is that like a little too psycho?
Yeah, that might be the cross the line.
What about, like, do you ever have issues with your brother? Like, do you guys ever fight?
Just sibling stuff,
Or maybe someone from a rival sorority? Or now it doesn't really matter since you're
No,
not
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
No, that would be so petty.
So you don't have any beef with anybody?
No, not that I can think. I mean, I probably do, but
You would keep it in case of emergencies.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I just think they're cool, the idea of them. But then, yeah, once you start naming people to do it too, it does seem kind of a little weird.
Yeah.
But that's New Orleans. The whole place is weird.
Yeah.
Did you go to the dungeon?
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the places on the tour. So we stopped there because there was a guy who was hanging out at the bar, and these two women started hitting on him. And I think they brought him back to his hotel room, and they ended up murdering him in his bathtub, I think. I don't remember the story exactly, but it was a dude who was hanging out at the bar, and he got murdered. And I think there were multiple people who murdered him.
But they were at the dungeon.
They were at the dungeon, which is, it's kind of like a haunted house at a carnival.
I went there the first time last year, and my parents were like, now prepare yourself for this. And I was like, okay, it's a bar, New Orleans. I mean, what have I not seen? But you have to like squeeze in, and you can't. I think somebody was trying to leave when I was coming in. We couldn't like pass each other. And then
You're not allowed to take pictures in there either.
You're not?
No, that was one of the things they were very adamant about. There were no pictures allowed.
That's kind of weird. The red lights, right? Were there red lights? No, did I?
Maybe. No, I mean, probably. I mean, It was really dark.
Well, it's like a cave. Like you go under or something, don't you? Like
You go into you go through like an alleyway, and then I think there's a bridge that you go across.
Yeah.
And then
it's really kind of weird.
There's like a little courtyard that you can hang out in, and then
you go downstairs.
Well, there's like you walk into the downstairs, and then you go upstairs to another dungeon area.
Yeah.
They did have good music, I remember.
I just remember it was very claustrophobic when you have to go down, and then you can't like pass people, so everybody's like squished together. And then I have a big fear of a certain type of bug.
The roaches?
Yes.
And you saw roaches in there?
They were crawling on the wall as you go downstairs. And like I said, you can't even pass somebody. The walls are so close, and they were crawling, and I was just like, oh, I can't handle this. But
that sounds like a health violation.
New Orleans, everything.
Yeah,
we always joke about that. Last year we went to the parade, and the Jazz Festival parade, and it started at like 9 or 10 in the morning. And you have to clarify New Orleans, And and we went to it was on Bourbon Street, and we went to the bathroom of, I think, one of the places that does the frozen daiquiris, just because it was open, which 9 a.m., sure, why not? But we went into the bathroom, and there was like 4 of them just like walking around.
Of the roaches.
Yeah. And so they had just hosed down the streets, and they were still like chilling, walking around. And I was like, this is awesome. But it wasn't.
What a time to be alive.
New Orleans, man. We always joke that you have to like fish the roach out of your drink before you drink it.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's why I say New Orleans isn't for everybody. So I hope my friends are, down
Have you told them about the roaches?
No.
And this doesn't come out until Friday, so you'll already be...
By that point, they will know. It's comes with the territory, I guess. It's especially bad in like the summer.
We have a bunch of roaches in our apartment complex. Our neighbors feed all of the stray cats.
Oh, and they leave out the food?
They leave out the food. So whenever we come, because we have a little breezeway, there's just always a food dish, and there's 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Crawling in the food.
Oh, that's so gross.
And then when we walk up, they scatter and they go under the floorboards.
That's so gross. You're like, those are my floorboards too.
Well, it's the breezeway floorboards. So then there's got to be at least 100 more underneath there.
I literally have like goosebumps right now.
So are you all driving together?
Yes,
all 5 of you in one car?
Well, we're taking Chris's mom's minivan.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it the trap van.
The trap van? Like a trap house?
Yeah.
What is trap?
I don't know. My mom asked me that too, and I said, I don't really know.
We're probably 2 of the whitest people, so...
Yes. I tried to look it up on Urban Dictionary. That didn't really help.
No?
No. Would you think it would?
I think it's a house where drugs are dealt.
Yes.
That's it, right?
That sounds right.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, there was like a famous trap house in Atlanta, right?
Oh, yeah. The Pink House?
The pink one, which was...
2 Chainz?
Yes, it was 2 Chainz.
No way.
Way.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think it was to promote his album.
But then didn't it keep getting shut down because it just got out of hand?
I think so.
So we're taking the trap van.
Is it pink?
It's white. It's a
Okay.
big white minivan. So kind of looks weird, but that's okay.
Is there anything else that we should talk about?
No. I can give you a recap when I come back
Yeah.
next week.
But Kathleen, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Enjoy New Orleans.
Thank you.
And I hope you can keep up with all the 21-year-olds.
Oh, I think I won't have an issue. They'll have to keep up with me.
Oh, wow.
New Orleans is like my second home.
And also be sure to check out next week's episode. We're going to have Nick Tanner from Cherry Street Brewery in Forsyth County, so that's going to be a fun episode. So be sure to subscribe, and thanks for listening.
That episode was tasty.